Today I'm just going to do a video on how I passed the NASM Certified Personal Trainer course. The first part of this video, I'm going to go over the testing procedure, and the second half I'll go over a little bit about what to expect for the for studying and how I went about studying for the test. So the first part, well, taking the test, what you do when you sign up is they give you a link so you can go sign up for your test. I didn't have any trouble getting a time slot for my test. I actually took mine, it was at an airport, like a private airport where they did lessons and stuff like that. They were a testing site there. So I signed up a couple weeks before the test, and my time slot was 9 in the morning, and I like to do everything like that in the morning because I just seem to function better earlier in the mornings. When you sign up, it's with PSI, and it's a proctored exam, which means that you take nothing in with you. It's just the computer, and somebody is watching you take the test. Okay, so the other thing is you have to be there a half hour before your test. That's what they say when you sign up. They tell you to be there 30 minutes prior to, and that's basically just for check-in. The place I went, they had 3 stations. It was me, another girl taking a nursing exam, and that was it. So we get there, they take your photo ID and your CPR card, and they make photocopies of them. And then all of your belongings, you have to sign some paper, basically that you're not going to cheat and nobody's helping you. You know, there was a little section on there I had to laugh at because they said they were going to check my glasses. I'm like, seriously, you're going to check my glasses? And they said you wouldn't be surprised what people will do to cheat on their test. I guess somebody can be watching, answering the questions for you, feeding you. I don't know. That seems like way too much work for me. But I guess some people do that. So they take all your belongings, they put them in a bag, and it's zipped up and it's locked, so you can't get to them, but you keep them with you. So we go in, the one girl started her exam, and then she starts my computer up and gets me all ready to go, and it didn't want to work. So I'm like, okay, I'm already having anxiety over taking this test, and now the computer doesn't want to work. So she ended up having to call tech support. Finally, they got it working, and 9:15 or 9:20, I finally started my exam. I'll be honest with you, the first 10 questions, I sat there, I was like, did I even read this book? Like, where are these questions coming from? And I think a lot of it was because I was so anxious about taking it that I just totally blanked out. First 20 questions in, I honestly wanted to get up and walk out and be like, screw this, I'm not taking this test. So I kind of like gathered myself up, got myself back together, and went through the rest of the test. And before you know it, I was done. I was like, whoo, that went really quick. I still had well over an hour. I would say I was done in like 40 minutes. And it's 120 questions. So I was done in like, I bet you 40 minutes. And I actually went back through all the questions again. Some of them I changed, some of them I was kind of like, yeah, that was right, yeah, that was right. Yeah, I don't know about that one, I'm guessing, you know. I went through them all again, and at the end, you just say, yes, I want to end the test, and then you type in the word yes, so you're sure you want to end the test. And when I went to hit the button, I closed my eyes, I'm like, okay, I can't watch, the anxiety is killing me. I opened them up and it says, your test is done, do what the proctor told you to do at this time. Oh my God, I don't even know if I passed this or not. So I go back up front and I told the girls, it says on the screen that I'm supposed to do whatever you told me to do next, which I don't even know what that is. And she's like, okay, hold on. And she looks at her computer screen and she ended the session or whatever and uploaded the file it uploaded. I guess to NASM. And she's like, okay, your file's uploaded. We'll know in a few minutes if you passed or not. Go back and get your bag and come back up. So I walk back, get the bag, and come back up. And she goes back in the back to where the printer was. And I'm standing there waiting and waiting. It seems like an eternity. She comes back out and she says, congratulations, you passed. I was like, yes. I was like so relieved. Like I almost started crying. That's how relieved I was passing this test. And as she's opening up my bag and stuff and getting my things out, having me take my things back out, she's like, you know, most of the people that come in here, more than half fail it. She said it has to be a hard test because she sees more times where people fail it than they pass it. But I'm just going to tell you, don't let that discourage you. Don't let people say, oh, I failed it the first time. If you read the book and you go through all the stuff that they give you and all the study material, there is no way you're going to fail this test. There's just no way. Because everything you need to know is given to you. And I don't even know what else to say because that's, and I'll be honest, I made more out of it than I did to you, and I really get test anxiety. And before I took this class, I took the nutrition, sports nutrition from ISSA, which is completely a home test. So you do the test at home and you mail in this big packet to them. I actually extended that class 2 months because I was just so out of my mind with the testing that, and I'll do a separate video on that one because that's a whole other ball of wax. It's nothing like this one. This actually is a cakewalk compared to what I had to do for that class. So, at any rate, don't worry about it. Study all the material and you'll do fine. Okay, so, part 2. Studying for the exam. What did I do? Okay, so I signed up for the class. I actually called them and spoke to somebody on the phone, and I got a package deal with the personal trainer, corrective exercise, and youth sports. What happens is they generate your online course materials for you, and then you'll get the book in the mail. So this is what you get, this book. It is, I think this is version 5th edition. This is the 5th edition. It's 700 and, let's see, not including the appendix, but including the glossary, which I would suggest you read anyway. I think it's 797 pages. Okay? Here's what you do. Get yourself a pack of highlighters. Start reading the book. Read the book. Don't listen to what anybody else tells you. Read the book. Because they can pull any question they want out of anywhere, out of any sentence from anywhere in this book. Read the book. That's my number one thing. And I had notes. Where did I put the notes? Okay. Number 1, read the book. Number 2, flashcards. Some people will tell you to make flashcards. I made flashcards for the first four chapters. I think the first 4 chapters, maybe 5 chapters. Actually, I didn't read chapter 5 in this book because I had already passed the sports nutrition class. So chapter 5 was on nutrition, and I was like, yeah, buzz through it, good. I may have gone up to chapter 6. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 for flashcards. And I'm not even kidding you if I went through 400 flashcards, 400 index cards, 400. It's ridiculous. So I quit doing that. The best advice I can give you if you want to do flashcards is read the chapter, highlight everything that you want to highlight, read the chapter, go through all of the, there are lecture videos, there are cueing videos, there are some instruction videos, um, assessments that are in there, the interactive assessments where you can do to see, you know, like you can get online and do like a poke a muscle type of thing, where, you know, or you take the whatever and you put them into categories. It's kind of stuff like that. And there is sometimes documentation, like a form, like the PARQ, or some kind of form maybe associated with that chapter, so you can look at that. And then there's a quiz. Do the quizzes. Do every single quiz. Do every quiz, do the midterm, and do the final exam at the end of the chapter. And do them multiple times. Do them over and over and over again. Because, I'm just going to tell you, you will see some of them again. You will see them again. I'm not going to tell you where. Testing site. But you're going to see some of these questions again. So take all the quizzes. Okay? Okay, flashcards. Okay, so for the flashcards, if you do all that stuff and then you still have issues with a couple of terms, excuse me, get my water bottle, and you have some issues with a couple of terms, things that you still don't understand, then make a flashcard for that. But there's no reason to make 400 flashcards like I do. It's just overkill. Okay, so whenever videos, quizzes, the final exam that's online, the test, the practice final exam. Oh, in the books, in some of the chapters, I don't know if I have any of them marked, but they do a lot of charts, starting, not so much in the beginning, but starting closer towards the back in chapter 11. Chapter 11 goes over the stabilization level of the OPT model, and there are charts back there that you need to know information from, like reps, sets, the tempo, intensity percentage if they use that. They use that more on the upper levels for how much of your 1 rep maxes to use. Your rest intervals, how many times per week you should do something, how long that session should, how many weeks long that section should last. Most of them are 4 weeks. Stabilization, endurance is the only one that's 4 to 6 weeks. And how many exercises you should select for each of the sections of the stabilization. Okay, so there are stuff like that in here that you need to know. Okay. As far as the OPT model and the assessments, like your overhead squat assessment, your Davies test, your left test, the Rockport test, the YMCA step test, etc., etc. You will learn all these in the book. Yeah, a lot of the videos that I watched online, and it's probably why you're here, is to find out where the concentration is. A lot of them were saying, know your OPT model, know your muscle imbalances, you're nodding along, yeah, that's what everybody says. My test was not like that at all. Those areas, I bet you, if I had to guess, 10 to 15 questions. And that is it. 10 to 15. So not even like a majority of my test was on that. Most of my test was on client relations and goal setting and SMART goals and things like that. And it started to make me wonder, did I screw up in the beginning of this test and answer a bunch of them wrong, and they're just giving me more questions like that? Because I know back in the day when I took some Microsoft tests for my certification, that's how they structured their exams. Like if you messed up in one area, they bombarded you with questions for that area to see if you really knew it. Maybe you just kind of screwed up on one or two. So I don't know if that was the case, if that's how they do it, because I got a lot of those questions. I will say probably 80% of my test was on that stuff. The questions are pretty much, I don't want to say I don't want to say like they're idiot proof. You do need to know your stuff, but like they will give you a question. Okay, here's one thing I get confused with. There's subjective and objective questions. I got one of each, and if you read down through the answers, I know one of them is, and I swear to you, I can never remember which one's which. One of them is something that's measurable, the other one is something that's not measurable. Okay? And say the one is measurable, the ones that are measurable, like your blood pressure. They'll ask a question, subjective, objective, blah, blah. And like 3 of them will be, 3 of them will be the same type of thing. Like it would be blood pressure, body fat, and like say hip ratio. So those 3 things would be together, and then there would be some other thing like they sit all day at work. Well, yeah, it's kind of, you kind of got to know those 3 go together, so this is obviously the odd man out is your answer. So they do ask questions like that. It's kind of like you can really pare it down to like the right answer, or 1 or 2 questions, 1 or 2 that might be the right answer. So read through them all and throw out the ones that you know are wrong. And then you either know it or you guess. You got a 50-50 chance at that point. Let's see. So going to the test that morning, I did not take any of my books with me. I didn't take any materials with me. I drove to the test center. I got my coffee in the morning. I drove down there. I listened to the radio. I sang along with the radio. I tried to do whatever I could to relax before I got there. Because honestly, if you don't know it going into the test, if you don't know it the night before, there's no point in trying to cram it into your head, because you're going to end up mixing things up, or, you know, it's not going to do you any good. At least it doesn't for me. Maybe you can do that. I can't. So my suggestion is, once you're done the night before, just be done and go take your test. And yeah, basically that's kind of it. That's all I have to say about taking the exam. You really want to go through this book and read the material. Oh, the other thing you want to do, the exercises that are in here, they're going to ask you cueing questions. Like for example, say somebody is, and this was not on my test, I'm just making this random question up. Okay, somebody's squatting. What would be what would the trainer say to a client that's doing so? It's like cueing them along with the, you know, with their doing their squat. And they'll say crazy things like point your feet out on a 45-degree angle, or, you know, cave your knees in, or I'm just trying to think of the most ridiculous things, because that's what they put on here. Or like push your knees all the way out, or track your knee over to the 2nd and 3rd toe, which by the way is the answer. And you would do something like, they would ask a question like that, and a lot of times you're just kind of like, really? You really? The answers are pretty much right there. So yeah, that's about all I can say about the test. The exercises they give you in here, or like the overhead squat, oh, that's something you can do too while you're in your exam. You know, and they tell you the overhead squat, if you have a hard time remembering something, get up and do it while you're there, and feel like that mind muscle, feel what they're talking about. And if you know all your muscles and where they are, and you know which way those fibers run, and you know where they insert in the body, it's a no-brainer. You can pretty much figure out what you need to know, which muscles are overactive. If you're doing this sort of a movement, which muscle is the primary mover, or that kind of thing. It's just, you know, that's all I can really say. All right, but if you have any questions, please comment below. I'll do my best to help you out. I am not going to give questions that I got on the test because I'm pretty sure they frown upon that. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you're stuck on anything, and you know, if you could call NASM and ask them questions, or you know, just drop me a comment here, and I'll do my best to help you out. Okay, and that's everything. So good luck on your test. You guys will do fine. Just relax and breathe, and you'll be good.